Okay, again, I'm going to be giving my overall thoughts on episodes 2 and 3 of Secret Invasion, and there's going to be a really big spoiler section. Alright? Okay, so overall I would say episodes 2 and 3 of Secret Invasion get a B. There's some very good, interesting points brought up here. It does take some very unique angles. It does do a good job of explaining where Nick Fury's been this time. Unfortunately, they follow up a holy moly cliffhanger with a kind of a cliffhanger and a lot of mundanity in between, unfortunately. Like I said, there's some very interesting ideas brought up. Unfortunately, there's just kind of a lot of blah in the middle where it's kind of hard to remember everything, even when I'm taking notes. So, yeah, again, that's kind of why I have to downgrade it a little bit, but these two episodes do get a B. They're still pretty enjoyable.
Cool, the new Fantastic Four!
Don't forget the change.
Whoa, Dr. Doom is taking over the city!
Who's gonna stop me?
Thing!
Don't worry, kid. The Fantastic Four are on the job.
Blast him, Human Torch!
Clobbering time!
Mr. Fantastic!
Let's go for a spin, Doom.
Got him! Whoa, Invisible Woman!
This is not over. The evil Dr. Doom is still on the loose. Better bring the Thing. His stomp and clobber sound in action is awesome. Bring on the Human Torch. His flame-on power defeats Doom's energy force. Flame on! Then stretch it to the limit with Bend and Stretch Mr. Fantastic. The Invisible Woman blasts back, and the Human Torch fires away. If shape-shifting Mr. Fantastic isn't enough to cut out evil, let Clobber and Crush Thing do his thing. Separate, they're fantastic. Together, they are the Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four action figures, each sold separately.
Disney XD and Marvel present a one-hour premiere event.
Attention, humanity! The gamma energy will grow to envelop the Earth. You will be transformed.
The Avengers face their greatest threats.
Welcome to Gamma World.
Now it's up to Thor, Hawkeye, and the Hulk to save the world. Marvel, The Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes. Brand new Friday, November 26th. All part of the Earth's Mightiest Marathon. Only on Disney XD.
Okay, so again, this is the spoiler section. Skip to this point if you wish to avoid everything. Okay? Okay, so episode 2 of Secret Invasion is called Promises. It's basically picking up, not quite right after episode 2. In fact, we actually get a couple flashback sequences early on, but yeah. I guess sort of the big revelation very early on is that Fury actually encountered Gravik at a very young age as the Skrull refugees were coming to Earth and trying to set up shop. Fury used them to set up basically an anonymous spy network that he could utilize to make his way up the ranks of S.H.I.E.L.D. So yeah, he used it under the guise of kind of helping them and saying like, look, and then as soon as you find a new planet, you know, you can go, you'll be free, like I won't hold you in anything. And of course it's been 30 years now and they still have yet to find a planet. So that's kind of where this is all stemming from. And we then move to the present where they have Marina Hill's funeral. And, you know, Fury kind of has to explain what exactly happened with her, her mother, but he can't get into everything. And added to that, you know, tensions are running very high because the Skrulls are acting as this anti-Russian, pro-American group called Russians Against America, I think. Or America's Against Russians, I can't remember. Yeah, that's it, Americans Against Russians. And, you know, so this is being viewed as like a U.S. terrorist attack. And, you know, the U.S. and so Rhodey has to testify before, like, the UN that, no, we did not do this. We would not condone something like this. We, can't do any of this. And that, in turn, leads to some things later, which we'll get to. But after that, we see Fury and Talos talking again. And Talos kind of lets slip, and this is where we kind of fall into what happened with Fury, you know, between Avengers Endgame to this point here, like, / Spider-Man Far From Home. Which is that basically, you know, Fury got blipped, and he apparently just kind of took it really hard even when he came back, so he opted to just kind of go up to the space station where the Skrull, or some of the Skrull, basically where Sword is being made. That's the alien detection agency, and he's sort of supposed to be helping the Skrulls find a new homeworld again. But yeah, he's basically using that as his own personal vacation to just get away from the world because he's still upset over what happened. And in between, as the blip had happened in Avengers Infinity War, in that 5-year span, the Skrulls, basically, they lost, when half the universe goes, so did like half the suitable planets. So now they have to travel around even further, and it finally just gets to the point where Talos said, you know what, just come to Earth. And so, unbeknownst to Fury, as opposed to a few hundred Skrulls living on Earth, there are now 1 million Skrulls living on Earth. And that's where it's like, whoa, okay, we're in trouble now, because now even with, Gravik having this army, we don't know how big it could be. It could be even bigger than it was, you thought it was. This isn't an army of like 30 or 40, this could be an army of, thousands. So, now you're into, or even hundreds of thousands, which makes it a tiny bit more sizable. And it's at this point you do see how the Skrulls have been infiltrating everything. There's the Skrull High Council, who it turns out owns several high-ranking political positions, including Prime Minister of England. Christopher McDonald plays a cable news pundit, not to be named. So yeah, there's a couple other ones, and I think they're like the Prime Minister of India is also supposed to be a Skrull, and there's one other one I can't think, but yeah, I can't quite place. But yeah, or at least like a Secretary of Defense or something like that. And they're part of the Skrull High Council, and now Gravik is angling to get on there, and he says, look, we've been waiting, it's time to move, you need to get me on this council because, we need to start doing this. And to that, eventually, does convince them. One holds out, but it's like, finally, I can reveal my plan, and then we kind of go back to the Skrull headquarters where they are building this chamber. I'll get to what that chamber is more in episode 3. But, yeah, and then Fury tries to go to Rhodey for help. He tries to angle everything, because now he and Talos are kind of on the outs. Talos himself actually sets up a parlay with Gravik. And Fury is talking, he's talking with Rhodey, and Rhodey's just like, look, you vanished, you left us. I don't even know why you're here, and now, you pop up in Russia and this bomb goes off. How do we know you didn't set it? He's like, he tries to let loose about the Skrulls, but it's like, yeah, we know about the Skrulls. We've known about them a long time. And there's just kind of this, oh, so I can't trust you either. And yeah, basically Fury is kind of threatened to be kicked out of the country. Like, look, if you keep into this, we're going to kick you out of the country. You are done. You are relieved of your duties. Go home. So Fury goes home, and we see that there's this female Skrull working in the kitchen, and then suddenly she's human again, and as he gets home, he kisses her. Her name is Priscilla. He kisses her and puts his wedding ring on his finger, which means this is his wife. So is Fury's wife a Skrull? Well, that moves us on to episode 3, which is Betrayed. And no, Fury's wife is not. It's not a secret. He knows she's a Skrull. You get a flashback to when they met in 1998, and she was working for him, but it's like, technically this is all off the books, so I don't technically work for you. So if you do want to start some type of relationship, you're perfectly free to. Yeah. And we then jump to the present, where again she sort of talks about, hey, has Gravik contacted you? And she's kind of like, well, yes, you didn't tell me this. It's like, well, where have you been? Oh, that's right, you've been up in space. Like, you disappeared for 5 years. I finally get you back, and then you disappeared again. She was not blipped, yeah. And again, we are getting the, even with people like this, where the Skrulls are kind of sick of being trapped here. It's like, we either need to find a world of our own, or we need to start doing something, because we're stuck here, and we can't just keep spinning our wheels. back with Gravik, he brings the Skrull Council to his headquarters, where we see this chamber again, and he explains what they're doing. They're trying to genetically augment all Skrulls into becoming Super-Skrulls. Like we see earlier, a Skrull who Guyla had welcomed onto the premises earlier, back in episode 1, being tasked on a mission. Basically, he and 2 others are infiltrating the Royal Navy to get into, basically to plan this attack where they're going to attack an envoy of like, there's like a summit that's supposed to be happening, an envoy of representatives of various countries, or a UN envoy, I think it is. And basically, to do this would bring about World War III, and what they're trying to do is, we're going to start World War III, we're going to use that to to start taking over. If they turn around and start fighting us, we're going to augment ourselves into becoming Super-Skrulls, and we're going to have better powers, we're going to be stronger, we're going to be faster, we're going to be, just better. And so that's going to wind up playing into his bit. And as this is happening, he starts suspecting that Guyla is being a double agent, because she is. He has his parlay with Talos. Talos tries to tries to attack him, but he immediately points out, I brought backup, so no, if you do something, you're not getting away with this. And, your daughter becomes the #1 target, and I don't think you want that. So, Talos has to kind of go back to Fury to try to figure things out with him. Fury meets up with Talos, and Fury has gotten info that about this attack that's going down. He contacts Sonya about it, but she's dealing with her own infiltration. I guess I forgot to bring up that bit in episode 2 where Sonya tortured a captured Skrull for information, and he gives it up, and as a result winds up getting killed by the other Skrulls, by Gravik's forces, to be more precise. And, she's like, well, now I can't trust people, so, if you want to do this, you have to be on your own, but this is the guy who's in charge of this. So they go there, and they take this guy's kid hostage, because the kid is not a Skrull, but, the guy, the Commodore, is pretending to be one, or is a Skrull pretending to be the Commodore, is what I'm trying to say. And, basically, Talos gets angry and he winds up killing the guy, and so they have to contact Guyla, unbeknownst to him that they've bugged, in the process of his confrontation with Gravik, his phone got bugged, and so they know when he's talking to her. And so she has to learn this, the secret code word to abort this mission, and so they get they manage to get to it just in the nick of time. So the attack doesn't go down. Unfortunately, like I said, Guyla gets found out. She tries to get off the premises, but Gravik's there. He shoots her. It looks like she's dead. And as this is happening back in America, Priscilla gets a call. It says go to France. She goes to France. There's a safety deposit box with a gun inside. Basically, she is now being ordered to kill Nick Fury. And that's how the episode ends. So, like I said, we had the interesting, kind of what the cliffhanger at the end of the second episode. The third episode was like, So, it basically diffused the cliffhanger in the first few minutes, and then, kind of tried to take things a bit of a new direction that kind of worked a little bit. Like, I kind of figured that Super-Skrulls were going to, or a Super-Skrull, depending on how this turns out, were going to show up at some point, but obviously, if you know anything about Super-Skrull in the comics, it's that he ties to the Fantastic Four. It is one Skrull named Kl'rt, who, has all, like I said, it's not that he has Super-Skrull powers, it's that he has, he can light an arm on fire, he has one arm made of rock, he can turn himself invisible, he can also stretch himself. So, he has the powers of the Fantastic Four, and all the powers of the Fantastic Four in one body. So, that's kind of, it's like, okay, so, I thought maybe that's where they were going. Don't know if necessarily Guyla's dead, because they are showing clips of her in later episodes, so it's either going to be flashbacks or something else. It is, like I said, going into something of an interesting direction, but I don't think they quite executed it that well. That's why I kind of downgraded it to B. to a B. I sort of said before, like, like I said, it just kind of gets a little wheel spinning at a couple points here, where it's like, thankfully, we're going into the second half now with episodes 4 through 6, so things should be picking up.
The summer's hottest movie is this year's hottest game. Game Informer raves, Fantastic Four has awesome powers, insane co-op gameplay, and GamePro calls it the ultimate adventure. Fantastic Four, the game, rated T for teen.
Dr. Doom has her spacey green icy. Let's go, Fantastic Four! Flame on! Zing, go! Now, Invisible Woman! Hey, where'd she go? Come back here!
Icy sold separately.
Now you can team up Star and Lightning Bolt chicken tenders with Fantastic Four toys.
Zing, lava! Awesome!
There are 5 action-packed toys you can collect. There's one in every kid's meal, only at Burger King.
Okay, so the next video is going to be the random trade review on The Amazing Spider-Man Masterworks Volume 1. Let's see, and then I think the next one is probably going to be the next random trade review after that, or no, it's going to be AEW Blood and Guts. Then it will probably be the next random trade review, and then we're going to round out Secret Invasion right after that. So then it's Barbie and Haunted Mansion, and then we get into August. See you all next time. Hey guys, remember you can request a movie or a television series for me to review at my Patreon at patreon.com/CPTime for Cat Productions. Also, remember to like the video, comment, share, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so that you can be alerted to further videos.